This conference will now be recorded.
All the buttons are pushed. All right, seeing as it's 6 o'clock, we will start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there anyone here for open public comment?
My name is Thomas Moore, and I'm here on a rumor that I heard about the town of Hillsborough charging HYAA $8,000 for the use of our field. And as a taxpayer, I think it's not quite right to think that we should charge, even if there are kids from Deering, and Deering isn't paying anything. It'd be unfair to charge this organization that is, I think it's close to 50 years old. They've been taking care of the youth in this town. Jim, you know that as well as I do. You know that also. I'm not sure if you know they've been, Rich, going for almost 50 years. But to charge them $8,000, what good is that gonna do? It's only gonna add a cost to every child that attends them. I think if we wanna get more money out of Deering and they don't wanna participate with our recreation programs, then the police contract that we have with them, if there's a way to up it. The next time we have a transfer station contract with them, add $20,000 on it. Or tell them, either you participate with all of this, or we're going to participate with nothing. It's not fair to, I'm not sure how many people are here from HYAA. I think a good share. It's not fair to the families that have spent years teaching the kids sports down. And to put this $8,000 to the $7 million budget. And I would like to know who came up with that idea. Was it a board decision or did it come from elsewhere?
Speak on it. I agree with you, Tom. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've came up with the fee yet.
You talked last week, you did. You said it was gonna be 8,000
That was when we were
for
gonna
the
ask
Deering, right, and
for
then if
Deering,
not, it was
not
going,
to charge HYA, right?
okay, I'm wrong. That's the fee.
The email to us
I
was.
wasn't-
That was the email.
I wasn't aware of that. It was, I thought it
I
was
sent that
8,000
to you
to Deering, because they refused to pay. Deering's been paying $25,000 for the last 15 years. I negotiated with them 10 years ago and everything is fine. Just recently, that's come up. The fees, if I might be wrong, if I maybe, I didn't think we came up with the fees because we haven't talked with HYA since we, not came up with the fees, but decided to charge for the use of the field. We're charging every organization that uses the field a fee. And TJ is, I don't know what the exact numbers are for the fees yet, but I mean, like I said, I could be wrong, but I didn't think we said, because we haven't talked with HYA. Originally, in January, when they had the signups for baseball, we gave them a reprieve and we'll waive the fees until we figure it out. And now I know soccer signups are coming up and that's where it is. And we haven't talked with HYA or I didn't miss a meeting, or Deering to find out why they won't pay for it. I agree. I've always stated at meetings that it's for the kids. The kids go to school together, they should be able to play together. I don't understand why Deering is refusing to pay. From what I remember, we knocked the fee down to $8,000 from $25,000. So I don't know, I haven't talked. We requested to speak with them and they haven't returned any of our calls.
Well, I just surmising that since we've started charging for out-of-town people to go to Manhattan, they used to be able to go to Manhattan all the time. Deering, their beach in Deering does not belong to Deering, my understanding, it belongs to the state. So they can't charge out-of-towners to go there. It's a parking area that they can charge, but not to use the water. And I think that's where it all stems from, is for us charging for them to go to Manhattan. I could be wrong, but I think that's part of it. But irregardless of that, we aren't a community that should be charging an organization that has been supporting our youth for almost 50 years. I think it was around 1979 it started, somewhere around there. I was on the park board back then.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense to do that. If we have a beef with the town of Deering, then take that beef to the town of Deering and say, this is either or. You participate here, or we aren't gonna participate in police, and we aren't gonna participate in the transfer station. They were gonna break away a few years ago with the transfer station, until they found out what it would cost them. And that made them come back to the bargaining table with the town of Hillsborough. So use different tools, don't use a volunteer group to get money. That just doesn't make
Well,
sense.
You know, I'm not using HYA to get money.
Somebody,
Deering-
they're
Deering
charging them
should-
$8,000, Jim.
They've always, at $25,000 covered them at minimum. They refused to pay that. Last year, correct me if I'm wrong, Laura, the board told them to write the check or the,
So the board approved the check.
right,
The treasurer refused to sign the check. And then the deputy treasurer
So, yeah.
refuses to sign the check.
I wanted the Deering selectmen in front of us to explain why. And they haven't been here. So, I mean, that's where we're at. I mean, as far as like I said, I could be wrong. I didn't think we said we were gonna charge $8,000 for HYA. We were gonna come up with a fee, but I don't think that's been set yet. My understanding is that $8,000 for the town of Deering to participate, the kids to participate. And the reason the fees are there's a lot of upkeep on Grimes Field, you know, over the years. And the Hillsborough taxpayers have been paying for it. And you've got Deering, Windsor, and Washington. So we have to look at all the towns for use of our field, you know? You know, things are changing. Like I said, it's for the kids. And I want Deering, I want to hear from Deering. That's where we are. I don't think, my understanding, we haven't said what we were gonna charge HYA because we haven't met with HYA for this new time to sign up for soccer.
I understand what you're saying. So, I'm a taxpayer. I have 3 children, which I'm just using a.
Yep.
I do, but they're too old. to play. I have 3 children that are gonna play with HYAA, and I'm paying taxes in the town of Hillsborough to support Grimes Field. Now you're going to go to the committee that my children are being taught sports with, and you're gonna charge them, and then they're going to say to me, well, instead of $10, it's gonna be $20. So I'm gonna pay over and above what I'm already paying. That, I just, if you look at what has happened with our youth services program in town, this is just my opinion, everybody can have their own opinion on it. Everything that we used to do for the kids in town, almost everything, now has a dollar amount. And why is that? We're already paying to have that field taken care of. We're already paying that guy that doesn't live in town should and pay taxes here. This is really, I'm sorry, but I should go because of.
I know, I agree with you totally, Tom. When we first started talking about this, my opinion was we shouldn't be charging the kids in Hillsborough. HYA said, if we're gonna charge Deering, we're gonna have to keep the fee to all the kids,
It's only fair.
Hillsborough and Deering. So that's where that comes from. It's not that we want to charge the Hillsborough residents. We said that to HYA. And HYA didn't want to come up with two different fees for residents and non-residents.
Right. So, but think about this, if you're going to charge that group, you're charging taxpayers twice. I don't care whether you think, geez, we don't mean to do it that way, that's what happens. I encourage the board to not charge HYA a penny, and to go to the town of Daring and say, either you are going to participate in this, or we aren't gonna participate in anything with us. If they agree to pay, and the treasurer said it won't sign it, they should say to the treasurer, you're out of your job.
Exactly.
Exactly, so don't take it out on this group. I've got.
I don't want.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We need to keep in order. Anyone else?
My name's Kelly Mahoko. I have two kids in HYA, and it's been the best thing for them. They're on IEP plans after school. Their friends are endearing. They've been on it for a while. Recently, they did have a price increase because the world is changing. We had uniforms, so we already went up, like, for both of my kids. For one kid last year was $50. For both of my kids to play was $150 this year, okay? So if you put that back on me and the rest of the parents, then I only have one child, but 2 or 3 kids in this, you're really crippling us, okay? And you guys have to think of that, what it does for the kids, what it does for, it's not Deering versus Hillsborough or Washington, Windsor. We're partnering towns. We have to start looking at each other as partners, okay? And one of the other things, and it is similar, right? Camp Manahan, they're probably a little ticked off at that because non-residents is $150 per child. That's 3 times the amount of one child. My friend who's in Deering has kids, who's on the same team, should pay $150 per kid for 4 kids, where mine was only $50. And now you're gonna pass on a cost for them to play baseball too on top of Camp Manahan? There has to be some type of solution. I was old school in the 80s. Our town would do fundraisers, and the town would organize fundraisers. We'd help raise money, kids would get involved, we'd sell candy bars outside. We were doing stuff if the town would, have events for us to do. We go out there and help roll our sleeves up and make some money, but you can't pass that all on to the parents. Our kids aren't gonna be playing in it, they need it.
Oh, I hear you. I have 2 grandkids that moved to Deering, and they're in the same boat. I know what the fees are, all right? I see it all. It's not, times are changing. I coached in this town for 30 years. I was in HYA for a long time. I know all about it, fees and everything else. Times are changing. Same thing at Manahan, lifeguards and everything else, things keep costing money. So even though, you're paying your taxes, but it doesn't totally cover the town's responsibility for upkeeping the fields. And that's where we're at. So it's not, like I said, it's Deering. We want to talk to Deering.
Thank you.
You wanna
Hey, Mike,
pick on people?
I agree totally, but there is a reverse side to that. Hillsborough taxpayers do not have to subsidize Deering. HYAA should not be charged, but HYAA has no authority to say Deering kids can play free. If Deering can't contribute, Deering kids can't play. That's it. No fee for HYAA, but HYAA has to say, we are Hillsborough. It's one thing to be a community, but we are our own community. Others have to foot the bill too.
That's what
It will cause churn at school because some of their friends are gonna be at school talking
Oh,
about it. And it's
I
gonna break
totally
hearts. Some of
agree
these
with
kids
you.
that played together
But
one year.
it's
All right.
Deering is breaking their hearts.
Anyone else?
Jim, I just wanted to clarify, because you did say you didn't know, but that was the email provided to us last night, is that it was $8,000 and that it was being decided on today.
I didn't,
Yeah,
I-
the board was gonna review it because that was the decision.
Without
If
any
you didn't hear,
conversation.
Yeah, we'll get
yeah,
to it
we
when it's
didn't
done.
hear from
Speak.
Deering, but that, I thought that was
Hey.
for Deering.
At that point, the fee was set at $8,000. And I stated that the board was going to be reviewing it again tonight if they wanted to be present.
Then I misunderstood what it was. I didn't think that was a charge that was going to HYA. I thought that was the charge that we were asking Deering to contribute.
And if they didn't, the board was going to be reviewing.
Right.
But that is the amount that the board set it at the last time. It
But
wasn't
that
one
was
of
for
those
Deering,
meetings.
not for
And
HYA.
Right, the entire.
That
Entire town.
is the amount, well,
Yeah.
nobody else was there.
Yeah.
So, if that's, the board went around and around and around, and that is what I did send to HYAA, that is the number that was, it was in the minutes that you approved. That, and if we didn't hear from Deering, you would review it. And I stated that
Right.
the fee is set at $8,000 and the board is going to review it tonight. I can pull the email, I can't pull it up on that. If they wanted to be present, yeah. Is that not what that said? That the
It-
fee was set at 8,000,
Because
Deering's
the
not
fee has been
paying?
established to charge HYA for field usage moving forward is
Mhm.
$8,000, which has been reduced considerably to take into consideration the structure of which HYA operates and provides programs to the community. Although the board had initially talked about trying to get Deering to pay, they have not been open to paying anything for Parks and Rec to Hillsborough, as has been done for many years prior. There's more, but that's.
And then it talks about that they're going to be reviewing it
While we
tonight.
prefer Hillsborough residents not to be penalized for Deering's lack of intermunicipal cooperation by way of increased fees, we understand that from previous
That's attitude.
conversation that HYA will be charging Hillsborough residents the same increased fee as Deering residents who
Right.
participate in using our fields. The board will be meeting tomorrow evening to review this once again. If you are a member, all right. If you are a member, would like to attend and have any other questions, would like me to pass on, and JT will not be at the meeting since annual beach dances this evening.
Right.
Roche,
You said, did you say Rochelle?
yes,
Okay.
sorry.
I have,
I'll try to move my thing
that's right,
back.
you're fine. I actually have a few things in addition to HYA, so I don't know, do you want to finish this subject first with the other
Yes,
people?
please.
Okay, so then I don't know if other people have comment on the subject. So, anybody else?
Anyone else?
So,
Okay.
I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in as well on the HYA. I have to agree, I mean, I agree with Tom in that I think that this kind of started when, we took that $25,000 from the town of Deering on, an expired contract, and then we changed the terms over at Manahan. I mean, I watched and listened to, the comments on that. That was not, they thought that they had the right to be over at Manahan with that $25,000 when that came up. Was it last year, last summer, the summer before last? But I disagree with the comments regarding Manahan with the camp. Manahan left that park to the residents of Hillsborough. And if you go back and look at the articles in the history, it was for Hillsborough to have something to call their own. And just because we share a school and we share friendships and we share teams and stuff like that, I don't believe that entitles them to have a resident rate to use our camp. And I do think that because we're paying higher taxes here in town than what other towns are, we pay for the sport of that we should have a resident rate that is different from non-resident. But HYA, I mean, why this Deering contract was allowed to go on unrenewed for as long as it was, that I think also contributed to what we're facing here now. But it is what it is. And I agree, we should not be charging a nonprofit organization this much extra. A lot of these fees also came about when we started our whole youth services department. All of a sudden, we built this budget up for youth services, and now it's being funded by all of us having to pay to use Butler Park or pay to use Grimes Field, and all the fields that we are already paying taxes for, and we have multiple trust funds that also support these fields for the taxpayers. We're now being charged extra and having to come to the board to ask for a waiver to be able to use the fields that we've already been paying for. And we were not paying for these. Before, we had a youth services department that was paying salaries out. You might remember what the salaries were from annual meeting, but the salary and the budget that was created then. That's my say on HYAA. The other reason I'm here is on March 10th at town meeting, the voters approved warrant article 26. Warrant article 26 was required the select board to send a letter out to the governor and to all of the state representatives and the state delegation that represented Hillsborough. It's well over 90 days. We still have not received our letter from Article 26. So the selectmen haven't been compliant in meeting the terms, and it was supposed to be done by petition. It said that it was to be done within 30 days. We still haven't received it. So I'm here to remind you guys that, you know, that was supposed to be sent out. The voters had asked for that to be sent out, and it has not been. I'm also here to talk about the online. I had talked to you guys a couple months ago about things going online, and I've been looking for some of this stuff, and I still haven't seen it. So the audit reports still haven't come online. If I remember correctly from that meeting, you guys had agreed that the audit reports would be put up online. So I'm just wondering what the timeline is for those audit reports to get loaded up online, if you happen to discuss that or have any answer on that. No. All right. Also, in listening to one of the previous meetings about the Windsor contract discussion, you know, another contract that has been not renewed since 2011 on that one. I had heard, Iris, you had said that the residents of town were commenting about we may not have been charging enough for that contract. And being one who was very outspoken about that, my concern when I brought that up 2 years ago wasn't that we weren't charging enough. My concern was, what are we charging them? That we had been responding to these emergency calls and these fire calls, and I had been asking, what are we charging them? And I was told all along, we'll look into it, we'll look into it. And I was never told what the amount was. It wasn't until after public hearing that the answer came out that we've been billing them anywhere between $28,000 and $30,000 every year, which is great. We've been billing them. So in that whole discussion, the answer was there. We've been billing them. The amount is $30,000. So I appreciate the efforts and the conversations at looking at what the best calculation is going forward. I think that when I looked at the spreadsheet, Windsor has not been honest and truthful about their population, because they're receiving meals and rooms tax based on 275 or 280 people, but they've only told us they have 180 people. So they're going to collect revenue from the state based on 200. I think that's what we should be using as well for our formula. So, so I guess I just wanted to kind of clarify that it wasn't that we weren't charging enough. We didn't know what we were charging.
Okay.
Nobody knew what we were charging. So, so that was it. And then I sent you guys an email regarding our revolving funds and some of the other funds that we have open. So we have a drug forfeiture revolving fund, and we have a youth services fund. Neither one of these funds were voted on by the community, by the voters. And they need to be addressed, because right now they're held in the custody of the town treasurer. And there's a question as to whether they should be held by the town treasurer or whether they should be held by the trustees of the trust fund. But I had also requested through my 91A. So anyways, we have two funds that are not compliant right now. So according to the fact that we don't have a vote on them, and I don't know, I've been listening to the meetings to see where you guys are with your discussions on that. And it never came up in any of the meetings since I brought this forward. I know Laura and I have had conversations about it, but it needs to be, I had trustee of the trust funds training a couple weeks ago, so it needs to get addressed at some point, probably sooner rather than later.
Can I ask you a question on that? Did you check on that? One of them was the fundraising that we had for youth services. That account was established in 2011. You were going to check on whether or not we had to, in order to have those sent over in an account opened by the trustees, if that needed to be a vote of the town. Because you thought, when we were talking about it, you thought it could just happen. And if that's the case, then it can be sent over. I mean, I've CC'd the board on those. We can just send those funds over, the board can. But if we have to have a vote, it has to wait till March.
I think it's best, so I did inquire and did not get a straight answer. And
Okay.
I think it's best if we maybe ask our legal
Yeah.
team as to
Okay.
whether, because it never did get voted, as to what the appropriate way of handling that is.
Okay.
So, you know, I think,
So the funds that you think have to go to the trustees would have to go at town meeting in March?
not necessarily. So if it's not tax funded money and it's donated money, then the donated money only needs to be approved by the selectmen. So you guys have to have a vote to accept the money that's being donated, which
Okay.
you haven't done for the fundraiser that was done for the van. And we can't find record that it was done for the youth services funds. So
That
the
goes way
selectmen
back.
have to accept the funds, and then they have
Okay.
to be turned over to the trustees, and it does not require a vote.
Okay.
When it's tax money, it requires a vote of the legislative body.
So,
But it's
but-
whether the
And you
accounting,
can never mix
Right,
the
right.
two. You
Yeah.
can never
Right,
have tax money
right,
and with
right.
donated money.
but the drug money, you saying is,
The- and our
that-
auditor states, and we've talked about that, or maybe it was through the email. The auditor, I sat down with the auditor and it says he looked at the federal documents and it has to be separated from the undesignated fund balance, which it is, because it's being reported to the Department of Revenue under the designated fund balance. And it says whether or not that
The Hampshire Department of Revenue or the federal Department of Revenue?
the New Hampshire Department of Revenue. So on our audit report. And so they feel it's set up correctly. I think it would make sense, which we talked about as well with her 91A, to just have a ratifying vote at town meeting. But it can only be used for drug forfeiture money. And at that time that it was set up, we were on a case. It was in October. The auditor at that time read through the federal documents on how we had to, because it has to be separated,
Mhm.
Which is what they did do, and
Okay.
it's reported as such. But
I mean, based on that, I did talk with the chief also about the
Mm.
money to find out how it came to be. And because that's a difficult situation, because the chief may get that money mid-year and we aren't going to have a town meeting until the following March.
right,
There is nothing in statute that says we're allowed to have a drug forfeiture revolving fund. Actually,
but you have to set it up that way.
not, the word revolving is where it changes.
Okay,
So the revolving funds have specific statute associated with
Mhm.
them and how the money's got to be used. The non-revolving funds, but just making up a fund, are different. But in both cases, the money, the revolving funds, the money can only be used for that purpose. Like our Parks and Rec revolving fund can only be used for Parks and Rec, same with the drug. And the chief and I talked about that. I have questions at the state level with a couple of trying to get a hold of the chairman of the criminal justice so I can understand how the DOJ is handling that money, because Chris had some comments that he made, so I want to finish that follow-up. So that's a whole other ball of can of worms, let's just say, it's another can of worms that we don't need to get into all those details right now, 'cause I don't have. them.
well, I just
Yeah,
know it's
but
not
I
a
mean-
donation, so I
It's
just
not a
didn't
donation.
know if it
Right.
It's right, and
So it's
so it is restricted funds, to a certain extent, but it's understanding that who has to hold custody of them. I am right now leaning towards the towns
it's a
holding
treasure, yeah.
custody of that money. But in all of these funds, through also that 91A request that I made, the selectmen are supposed to be the ones that are signing off on all of the expenditures, and they're supposed to give the order to the treasurer to issue the checks. And none of the data that I got through my 91A is showing that the selectmen is approving the expenses that are coming out of these funds, whether it's the police revolving fund or the Parks and Rec or the services funds that have been spent. I was not given any data that showed you guys approved this, so I don't.
So you
I've been
want,
to the meeting,
you
so
want to see the signature pages, because Laura Lee showed you the manifest pages, which showed the checks that were written. So you want to see the signature pages that go with that manifest then.
so that
That-
those
that's the
expenses
order.
are coming across your
Yeah.
eyes. You guys are seeing how those revolving funds are being used
Yeah.
and expended throughout each of the departments that have them. Okay, all right. So, yeah, I'll, long enough, on my list. Those were the important pieces.
Right, Brett Tabor on Melody Lane. So just to clarify on that revenue source, I don't know what the town position is. Are any of those revenues, whether donations or drug forfeiture or anything else, does the town require a certain process or procedure if it's over the $10,000 value for unanticipated funds? you have to have a public hearing before you accept
6,000
those funds versus the
individual.
town already has it in place to accept funds and donations by accepting of that statute as one of your guiding rules to accept anything less than that. I don't know what the town's position is.
So individual donations of $6,000 or more require a public hearing. What Riche is talking about is to accept donations and then to turn them over to the trustee. So that's a vote of the board.
Right, but would that financial value or limit be in place no matter what? So whether it's for anything that's over 6,000, has to have a public hearing before it's voted to accept
In-
or not?
Individual, not collective. So if,
Right,
right.
okay,
And yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, we went over our 15 minutes.
That's all right.
Okay.
Jean Cool
Anybody
canceled.
else? No. All right,
Oh,
next
Is Amanda? Amanda's not.
is Amanda here.
Oh.
I'm here for her.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
All right, and you are,
She is actually with her husband getting surgery today. So, I'm the vice chair.
okay, name,
My name's Allison Dyer. And the chamber would like to request a letter. I think she mentioned that Laura, did you talk to Amanda about that?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what she needs is a letter allowing for the beer garden at Haunted Hillsborough to happen. So there's a food vendor. And the food vendor is Crescent City Kitchen. And Crescent City Kitchen has had a liquor license of their own for 20 years with no complaints on their record ever. And they do a thing where they set up fencing, like it's contained. There aren't gonna be people walking around Haunted Hillsborough with beers. I asked, and that's not at all. And all they serve is beer and wine, nothing harder than that. They obviously take IDs. They will let families in if like dad wants to have a beer with dinner, but obviously that's supervised. But what else? I think that's it. I have contact information for the food truck company. So she's looking for a letter that approves to allow them to do a beer garden at Haunted Hillsborough.
So I talked to Amanda and said that they would need to come to the Board of Selectmen meeting to get approval to have it up there. That's up in where the clubhouse is in October.
Yep.
And which they haven't had in the past, whereas Summerfest has had one every year, so that's renewed every year. But this is the first year that they're asking permission for that. And then if the board approves that, that kicks in that letter to the Liquor Commission.
Yeah, the chamber used to have one at the Cincy Fest for all the years.
Oh,
that
okay.
it-
Right.
It was beer, it was the same scenario, fenced in, that's all part of the liquor license,
Okay.
that's there, so. You're gonna,
you wanted somebody, I
Right.
make a
Well-
motion? You want to discuss it?
well, I don't know. We've done it before,
Yeah,
you
we've
know.
done it for other organizations.
This is not setting a precedent, so
No, no.
I don't see any issue with it.
No,
I make a motion to approve the beer garden request for the Chamber of Commerce for their Haunted Hillsborough, is that what it's called?
Yep.
In October,
I'll then second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
What's the date of that event again?
It's usually the first weekend in October. I can check my phone.
That's okay. I can email Amanda just to get the specifics that I can put in the letter. Okay, thanks.
Mhm. Gene Gould, Stone Arch Players.
He's not able to be
Oh,
here.
he's not here.
His request, they had a board meeting. His request had to do with the use of the pickleball courts. Stone Arch Players is a non-public and they are trying to have a fundraiser, same as they had last year, and requesting the field usage to be waived. For the court usage,
What do they have, pickleball tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
fundraiser pickleball tournament,
What's the date?
July 18th.
That's on Saturday, Sunday? precedent matters.
It's a 18th is a Saturday.
All day?
I don't know.
I don't believe it's the entire day, but he didn't give me the times because he was expecting to be here.
And what's it a fundraiser for?
Stone Arch Players.
Oh,
So they
okay.
put on
sorry.
plays, yeah.
I didn't-
So
I didn't
what,
see
what
that.
are they gonna
Yeah.
do with, what are they gonna do there? I mean, they want the court.
They're gonna have a
They're
pickleball
gonna have a
tournament.
Oh,
pickleball
they have a
tournament,
pickleball,
yeah.
okay. Cool.
I'm like, am I just thinking it and I'm just not coming out? Mental.
And they're
telepathy.
asking for the waiver of the fee. What was the fee?
Again,
I
I
don't
thought
know.
he was
Yeah,
gonna be
he'd
able
be
to
here.
make it at the last minute. It's a very small fee. I think it's under $200, under $300. Because the larger fee is an October one that they will be requesting, and that's 500, so it's under that.
I don't know what the fees were.
It's under
I-
500.
Yeah,
Because I know the big, he kept saying, well, the big one is October for Grimesfield, we'll have to ask, and that's 500, so.
Sure, I don't have a problem with that.
Waiving the
Yeah.
fee?
Yep.
Yeah.
I make a motion to waive the fee for the field usage for Stone Arch players. Courts, I'm sorry, for the pickleball courts.
Are they gonna use the tennis courts too? Because usually when you have a tournament, they set up pickleball courts on the
On the
tennis
tennis
courts
courts,
as
too.
well. So I would imagine it's for both tennis and pickleball.
I was told it was a pickleball tournament, so
No,
I
yeah,
wish I
well,
had that
right,
specific,
but they've-
except
they've had-
again,
They've had
he
tournaments
had
in
a,
the past down there, but when they have the tournament, they use all the courts. That way you can have five games going at the same time. Because if you just
yeah.
pickleball, it's just one. So I would imagine it's both.
Probably.
I can
Yeah.
get that and send that to you. If I was a pickleballer, I would have thought to ask. I'm
No,
not.
it's okay. I mean, we've had these in the past, so I don't have a problem with it.
So
Motion,
I'll second that motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Kim Upperman,
So, yeah.
So that motion is for the pickleball and the tennis courts.
Yes.
well, for a pickleball tournament
Yeah.
on,
Tournament.
yes, yeah, for whatever he needs.
Okay,
I'm Kim Opperman, and I was going for a grant to put fire sprinklers and add 2 apartments to the Rumrow building. And the grant was pulled because I want to explain what happened.
This is the CDBG
Mhm.
grant.
CDD, yeah,
Right.
okay. So what happened was in 2021, I'll make it quick. I bought the building in 2021. 3 or 4 apartments couldn't be rented because the roof had been leaking for years. So I fixed the roof. That was a $60,000 roof. Put in a complete new fire alarm, updated most of the apartments. And so I got everything right. But the ceiling of the 4th floor where I wanted to put these apartments has a 5 or 6 inch dip. So I was just gonna drywall over it and not touch it in the grant. But my contractor said, oh no, you gotta fix that ceiling. So we brought in a civil engineer, Dana Clow, you all know him. And he said, oh yeah, you gotta rip it down, just re-sister up the joist and you'll be good. So we did that, we ripped it down. Well, the guys that ripped it down, a lot of cellulose insulation, got dirty, got messy, and they called Mike Borden. So Mike came and shut it down and asked me to do a lead test. So I did a $450 lead test. I'll give you copies if you want to see it. I did a $450 lead test. Then he said, well, you got asbestos too. Then I did an $870 asbestos test. And there was no
If you need
asbestos.
this,
Oh,
you can-
oh
I
yeah,
can
I
grab
sent
one
it
of
to you.
those. Yeah.
So then I did the asbestos test and there's no asbestos. So what I'm asking is, can I try to get the CDG? I was being proactive in trying to fix something and I
Yeah.
screwed up.
So do you mind if I add?
Sure,
So he has to reapply for the CDBG because it wasn't the town that pulled it, obviously. It was the governor and council or the CDBG folks. So Donna Lane, who you've all met, said that he would need to reapply this next round.
Yeah.
Did she tell you when that was?
July.
July. But the board would need to support that effort again because it's a separate round.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we support Kim Overman with his application for us, reapply for the CDBG grant.
CDBG.
I'll
And you're
second.
gonna go for 5,000, 500,000 again?
Yes, yeah, I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
fire sprinklers are the important thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Second?
Second.
I had no asbestos, just blown in insulation.
We received a complaint because it was all over the space and everything, and in order to make sure that there wasn't anything that was airborne.
Certainly sounded like it was.
It's a roost.
It was a hoot. It was a hoot.
I know Mike was doing his job and we did it, so, but I didn't know it wasn't as, but it was blown in cellulose insulation. That was
1,600 of that comes from an amazing man, Tom Alberts, that helps us raise money on his own time. So really, if you really think about it, it's only about $900 that we have extra to help pay for the kids that can't afford to play. So now we're trying to come up with $8,000 over our $900 surplus. It just doesn't make sense to us or to our town, for our town to be able to do something that they can't.
Understood.
Any of the numbers, please ask. I got them all for you.
You're welcome. One of the issues, I mean, we've talked about this for many, many weeks, many meetings, we've kicked the can down the road, so to speak. And I'll speak for myself. The issue in my mind is, at one point, Daring was contributing 25K to have their kids part of HYAA. And that covered part of it, the field, okay, because that went into the general fund, and the general fund is used to pay to upkeep the fields. So that was part of it, okay, and all, for their kids to be treated like Hillsborough residents across the board.
May I ask if that was part of HYA or to actually use our town's field?
It was across the board. We didn't parse, we didn't, but anyway, be that as it may, okay? When Darren refused, we said, well, it's really not fair for the residents of Hillsborough to pay for all for the maintenance of the park entirely. Okay, and that's what we've been struggling with, because we as a board don't want to charge HYAA. We don't. I mean, Daring has kind of backed us into the corner here.
I get
Okay,
it.
and
You can't charge us.
one of the
That-
thoughts that I had about this whole thing is, how many would go to Daring and voice their displeasure with Daring stopping that? Okay, I'm just, that's a thought that I had, okay? But I agree with Jim, I don't think we should be charging
I
for
appreciate you.
HYAA. It just doesn't seem
Mhm.
right, because like Tom McClure said earlier, this is a beef between Hillsborough and Daring. It's not a beef between Hillsborough and HYAA. It's,
Yeah.
you know, and
I get it.
maybe it's best that we handle it that way.
May I say an opinion on, and the only reason why is because it is the final review of the MOU to amend it, and says we're gonna amend it to July 1st. We understand we use your fields. We understand, like, we put in, I counted my hours as 723 hours, just baseball season alone. I was down there. Super emotional guy, hold on.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our children appreciate it.
I love your guys down there. The Scott and them, awesome guys. But you guys don't have enough manpower to do both. You know the Red Sox?
So it sounds like the majority of the board, the two of us agree that we're not gonna charge HYAA at this point in time for this contract. We're gonna try to work it out with Daring and
Right.
see if we can come up with an alternate arrangement somehow and deal with it that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Are we good with that? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah,
Jim?
I don't want to, I do not, if I misunderstood what went on at our last meeting, I
It
do
was hard to
remember
fo-
everything you said,
yeah.
I didn't follow it, but no, I do not want to charge Hillsborough residents for the use
I
of.
appreciate you, sir. I appreciate
You
you.
know, but like I said, I've been down there a long time. I put a lot of hours down there too. And I was chairman of the park board for 15 years until I became a selectman. I couldn't be on two boards. So I hear where you're coming from, you know, there's a lot of maintenance that goes on down there, you know, and it's expensive to upkeep it, and I know we're in the hot seat here, but times are changing, things cost money, and, you know, in reality, we're looking out for the taxpayers. We're just trying to,
Yeah.
the taxpayers should not be paying double,
Yes, sir.
without a doubt. No two ways about it. Our beef is with Deere, and that's something we have to work out.
And based off our MOU, we are more than willing to work with you guys for whatever we need to do to maintain the fields.
Right. Like I said, I agree with that. Deering residents should be going to Deering Town Hall and saying, why aren't you supporting our kids? You know? Like I said, I've got 2 grandkids in Deering now, and I've heard it, what it costs them to be at Manhattan, you know? So, I hear it, you know, I know it is, but what do we need to?
So do you need a motion to approve the MOU?
Well, I think the MOU,
It was
it
signed
was
already.
already signed, right?
It said it needed to be amended on the first, in the wording, but there's nothing to amend on it.
You do need a motion to waive or make a motion to not charge, or
Okay.
technically, there's no charge right now, but I think it would be good to have
For
that in the
clarity's sake,
minutes,
just to
right?
be sure, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll make a
Right.
motion not to charge HYAA for field usage for soccer and baseball
Well, it's really for
for the.
under, right.
Okay,
Do you want to, I'm not gonna say anything else.
no.
No,
feel
no,
free.
no,
I-
no. No, because I don't disagree whatsoever.
Okay.
But are you talking in perpetuity?
No, we're talking a
That,
3-year
because that's,
contract.
okay, just this 3-year,
I
okay.
learned that lesson, you know.
I know,
I
I
wasn't
knew
gonna
that
say
word.
anything.
I learned, you know, smack me once, that's okay, that's, I get it.
I didn't hear
I
that.
don't wanna have my
so
knuckles smacked
That's
again.
part of, so, and I don't think you have to label what sport. So
don't
it's
have
just
to,
for
we
this
just-
3-year
3-year.
agreement. Yeah.
Understanding with the HYAA for no charge.
We'll make that pretty in the minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I'll second
you.
it. I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion, any further discussion? No, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed,
Abstain.
abstentions, motion carries.
Abstain.
You abstain. 2-0-1. Okay. Back to you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Who's granted signature authority?
Do you want to do those while we're
I make a motion to accept the minutes of May 27th. Do I have a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I make a motion to accept the minutes of June 9th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I make a motion to authorize the selectmen to sign the manifest and order the treasurer to sign payroll checks numbered. Do I read all that?
You always make the motion to approve.
Approve the manifest? All right.
You can read what you
No,
want.
that's all right. I make a motion to approve the manifest of June 24th. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mary emailed me the
She told me that.
Of course, I deleted it. If I delete the email by mistake, I can't open it. So I called her and said, if you really want me to sign it, you gotta resend it. I said, but we are meeting.
Yeah, she forgot this meeting week.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda for January, yeah, for January, for June 24th. Do I have a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are you frazzled?
Hmm?
Are you frazzled?
No,
Oh,
I just can't read.
oh.
I think this is supposed to be over here.
Everything. Which means everyone out here now. There's two tags on that one that you just put over there.
Thank you.
Did you just smooch?
Huh?
I said, did you just smooch?
He did, he gave me a smooch on my shoulder.
So this is now, we're gonna nickname it the Kiss Cam.
Nice. I like it.
It's working, so.
She's watching us.
Oh, that, yeah, I don't have any.
Conservation Commission's got me happy.
Yeah, they get half of them.
I know. I didn't even see that my name was here. Thank God I'm slamming on the right line. Signature authority. That the
Yeah,
next one?
so, the library is received a Moose grant, and Samantha Gallo would like permission for the authority to sign all the paperwork on that, which the board has done in the past. So I would need a motion to authorize Samantha Gallo to sign documents having to do with this Moose grant. It was, 10,000?
I make a motion to allow Samantha Gallo to sign paperwork for the
Moose
Moose
grant.
grant awarded to the Fuller Public Library.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sidewalks?
So, yeah, so the sidewalk project, I guess you're all getting the minutes of our weekly meeting.
Mhm.
You see that they are, they've peeled away the LSR, which is what the state calls the contaminated soils on the side of the road. And in order to do that, and it has to be piled on state land. We can't move it, we can't pile it on our land based on everything having to do with contracts. But, so we were running into a problem. We were running out of space to put it on the sides of the road. You've seen the piles. So down here, after you go over the overpass on School Street, there's a driveway that's gated that goes to state property. So we're looking into being able to stockpile it there, and it will take care of, there's a sewer pipe that apparently got the ground underneath it washed away about 5 years ago in a flooding.
I think it broke. I think
Yeah,
the
it's-
sewer
it's-
pipe broke and washed away the ground, but yes.
What they explained in the meeting was that it was
Oh,
flooding, so
right,
maybe
yeah,
that, they didn't, so
yeah,
it's being held up by an I-beam, so
right.
the state said they're willing to let us use it, we have to put in a culvert. But, I know it's always something, and then we can bring that material there and they can stay there. So we're looking into that, we're looking into what permits we would have to get. And if we do have to get permits, we're hoping the state will assist with that so that it goes by quickly. But it looks like the crazy kinks that we started the project with, they've worked those out. So hopefully, I don't want to say this too loudly, it is smooth sailing from here. I know, that's why I hate to say it.
Are we gonna have to, I'm gonna say it, are we gonna have to move telephone poles?
Yeah, there's a couple that need to be moved.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's been in progress for a while, but I don't think they wanted to move them until we were
Sure.
moving
Okay.
ground, so.
All right.
Woods Willow project, we're on a site walk, and that is, you saw that we received approval for the extra 150,000, so they mobilized this week. Weeks seem to be going by quickly. So that will be moving along, and that should be done in the fall. That's pretty exciting. And I sent the board the final layout of it
Mhm.
through email. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? It's, so
It's still gonna be done this year sometimes?
yes, yeah. So at the end, yeah. So there'll be, it's a race, which will finish first, the sidewalk or the Woods Willow? So,
We can have two celebrations, right?
yeah, definitely. I also sent you the Manningham Boathouse specs, the updated ones from JT. You have a copy?
I didn't
Did
print them.
you didn't print them?
No.
Grab copies. Did you read that? Like, are there any questions? Do you want me to bring that out?
I haven't seen it. I have been
Okay.
extremely busy. I don't
Okay.
sit at a desk. I don't see all my emails all day long. saw that they specs, but I didn't open the specs.
Yeah. You got a lot of outside doors.
That's a good point.
Oh, really?
Exactly, you can't, it's not on
Oh,
here.
I would have thought it was coming from Central
Contaminated
Hall.
dirt, so I don't know that question.
Oh, inside.
It's all
Everything
from the
comes from
outside.
the outside.
Doesn't make sense. Oh, I'll come to that.
Well, is it, yeah, why do we move contaminated soils to uncontaminated space?
Yeah, ask a question.
Why not move it to the, over by, Hennifer Street there off the 202, where there already is stuff over there?
It's grinding, it's, that contaminated soil was at the first meeting, that was, the state was adamant about that soil had to be stored on
It's their soil.
their soil, it's gonna be reused, and it's gotta
So
be
now you
stored on,
contaminated some,
So this is
some
the
other
state,
soil.
But it's
state
not-
DOT?
it's, yeah,
State DOT?
yeah, state DOT, that's who, that's where
I think they
those-
just don't
those-
wanna be sued.
They ought to be sued
It's
for
not-
doing what they're doing.
They're putting contaminated soil on Phoenix Road.
Well, how contaminated is it?
It was the,
I don't know.
We're
Can't ask
keeping the
questions.
state soil on state land,
on
and
their
we
right
can
of way.
reuse it on the project, but we'll have more than we can use on the project, so then it has to be stored on state land, because it's their soil.
do you have a
Soil.
definition of the contamination? Like, is it the Lyman's?
No, it's
So it's
every
right type of
roadside,
things.
every road. The edges of the road are considered LSR, I don't remember what that, do you
Because
know?
all the salt and all that.
Salt, metals, just,
Not like the associated electric
no,
contamination.
no,
No,
no.
Although part of that does go in part of the associated electric.
Maybe we can blame it on that. It leached into our,
contaminated soil makes it sound worse than it is.
Yeah,
But that's
especially
what-
when you're-
That's
Yeah.
the way they phrase
Especially
it.
when you're on city water.
Yeah, but
Well-
there's no
I mean, it's not gonna,
effect to city water.
it's, no,
Runoff.
if it's
It's not-
contaminated soil from the salt and stuff from the road, it's not gonna ruin the water table. That's the point.
Right.
So that's
Oh.
why they're,
Right, it's only, what is it, 6 inches?
6 inches.
Yeah.
After you take the loam off, you have to go down 6 inches.
It's a state regulation.
State or, yeah. So. It has been a learning experience for sure.
Oh, yes,
oh, yes.
I'll second that.
Or you got something behind the chair.
Behind the chair.
This little piece of paper.
Oh, that's flying around.
Wants to
Thank
fly
you.
away.
Now we're all on.
Does that tell you who's on?
No, we're all on. There's a bunch of people over there.
Is this going to remain on?
Yeah.
Some trustees will be in on it.
So the last discussion was that once we got the figures in,
Oh, then we
then
talk to
we'll
them.
talk to them.
Okay.
The updated specs for the bathhouse.
Thanks. So can I have this? Is what I was gonna-
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Are you all right with
Patty's?
Everybody wants to look at a copy as well.
Thank you.
I will.
Laura, do you know what all these two things are at the bottom? You know what they're for? All these things?
I believe those are stairs.
No, all the way
Stairs to
across. It
supporting,
says entryway.
but what is the stairs? Stairs to second phase.
Oh, so we have to raise it above.
Oh, is that what, how we do the stairs? It
Yeah.
goes
Stairs
up
go up
and
and
over.
that's, okay,
Alright.
okay.
But to go over the, that's where the door.
The entry,
is.
right.
Piece of stair.
Is the second floor gonna have to be ADA compliant as well, within the elevator? That's the building.
Probably a lift, like a
Some
one
sort of-
floor
yeah.
lift.
A chairlift, you mean?
Nothing
It's the
yet.
next phase. It's not even in this phase, but if we use it. So just a one floor lift, which is similar, it doesn't have to be enclosed, although it might be enclosed. So it's not an elevator,
Right.
but it's just,
Like you see on a van, that kind of thing?
no, it's
more
similar
like it's
to,
at the school.
Oh,
okay,
okay, yeah.
They're not enclosed, and then
yeah,
I
that-
installed one at the Historical Society.
Yeah.
Just that it's kind of enclosed because it didn't have walls, but it's not a elevator. It's all, everything's on the wall, so it doesn't have a piston or anything like
Right,
that.
right.
Like an elevator, it's a lift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
above my pay grade, but I just know it's not an elevator. But I know what they look like, but I can't describe what he's describing.
I have an idea what he's
Yeah, the school ones are,
Second floor gonna be the same as the first floor. What are we doing with the second floor? What's the
don't know. That's.
They're not building the
It's
second floor
open
now.
space so
They're
that
not
if
doing
we
it.
need to expand, we can.
Only to make the first floor accessible for a second floor if one is ever needed. Unlike some other buildings.
So basically structurally, you're. building it so
Structurally,
that you
correct.
can Put a second floor on there if you want to.
Correct. Yeah,
No, I don't-
contractor.
I don't have any problem.
That's what
The
we're
only
getting.
thing that
These
I
are just the
would
specs.
suggest is that for the bathrooms, the toilets and sinks, to be stainless steel ones, so they don't take abuse. Because over the years, before the old bathhouse, we replaced toilets in there, you know, every couple of years. And at the time, we were talking about, when I was on the park board, we looked into that so they wouldn't be vandalized, since they're all open to the outside, you know, that spend the money now and save later, you know,
Mhm.
without them being destroyed. And I don't know if he's, you know, we're gonna have to see what comes back for the bids, but the mechanical rooms and the bathrooms, they all should have drains so they can be cleaned out, and floor drains and all that, that
But
specifics.
yeah, but isn't that, yeah, that's, I guess.
It's not normal, but it's, you know, it should be spec'd out what to use, you know?
Yeah, because if you have a floor drain, you can at least take a hose in there,
Yeah,
and hose
hose
down the
them off.
room and it'll.
Can I have a much more general question. Is it wise to have everything accessible just from the outside, rather than having people come in and going into the bathroom through the interior?
Plus, that's what see what they're doing is gonna put the mechanical room, all the plumbing is gonna be in that room,
Right,
so the entrance would be there, so you know, you'd have to,
but
you know, to
that-
do
that's
that
a
in
lot
the
of,
center.
that's a lot of entry. I mean, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you're gonna have like,
No, these are changing rooms, these are not, these are bathrooms, these are changing
So
rooms, so
you-
there's not,
there's
there's
no
not,
doors?
no, there's doors, but there's no,
No plumbing,
no plumbing in.
but you're still gonna wanna lock them at night, you're gonna have the.
Right, that's
Right, yeah.
what we have to do now.
But wouldn't it, if you could only access these rooms through the interior, you'd only be locking one door.
Yeah, but you don't want people
Yeah.
walking around on the inside.
I'm just
What you-
asking. if
Yeah,
you-
no.
I'm not-
What you can't see,
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that there being some kind of, like I did in front of the two bathrooms that are up there now, so you can't look directly in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
That's what, you know, that's something we're adding. We had a problem,
Efficient.
and that was that was the resolve of it. Put that like that, so somebody couldn't stand here and look directly into the bathrooms. It's a little bit different because they're singles, so they're gonna go in and they're gonna close the door. Those there would be 2 or 3 people in there or changing that they would see. This isn't gonna, it might not need it because you only have one door. You go in, close the door, and you know, you're not looking at multiple stalls when you do that.
Can I speak as a trustee, income wise for this with you guys? Do you predict that this is gonna be more than what we currently have for income? And that should I be telling our Bank of New Hampshire that they need to start making some decisions on bringing us more income? And part of the reason I'm asking that is last year their focus, and a little bit of shame on us, I guess, for not catching it sooner, their focus was to build the principal value on this. So they were building capital gains. We can't spend the capital gains, we can only spend the earnings. So they really weren't focused as much on the earnings. And I asked them this year, so we only averaged 2.9% interest on what we got on our trust funds last year, which to me was way too low. I got better at the bank. So lesson learned, conversation was had that we need to focus on getting more on the earnings so that we can spend. So right now we have, what was it, 318, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Do we need more, do you think? I mean, just ballparking it right now. And is this happening this year? So are we spending
So
what we have right now?
He would. I
it
guess-
in May of 27 would be a completion date based on whatever comes in. But
Right,
but
depends on the
So
I
I
bids.
would
want to tell them
say-
to start making sure that we have enough money, but
I would say I would throw this out to the board.
Well,
I would think we don't want to build any of the principles that we can't spend. We would always want,
we discussed that.
so you're doing that now, so that's already been
Yeah,
switched?
we did
Oh,
talk to
okay.
them about that, but I need to know, like, just a rough ballpark. Is 300 okay now, or do I really need to have him start making some changes? I mean, I understand you
until we
can't
get
estimate based
until we
on-
get a bid in, you know, and I mean, in my opinion, we'll build what we need, what we have money to build.
But there's also future projects, so if that's a
Right.
possibility for
Yeah.
future projects,
Yeah, I
then
think
yeah.
the conversation was definitely had for the future. I just want to make sure that we have enough in there for this year, by the end of the year, for you to start paying bills. And right now it's 318. I'm
Oh,
using that
yeah,
number.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% confident. It's right around that number, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I
Actually, I've
think
got
the
a
project
report to know
will
where it's finished.
get started for that. I can't know
yeah.
how it's
So
gonna get
you-
things.
Your experience ballparking, you don't know, like just a ballpark. I'm not gonna hold
No.
you to it.
No,
What happens if we don't have enough money?
We have
Can you scale
We
back?
just-
well, I could see,
We
I don't
can't
know, what's he
spend
got,
principal.
6?
We cannot spend
No,
principal.
we can't spend principal, but there's four bathrooms, maybe we can only do 2 this year. We get more money in, we can do the other 2.
So you just leave an empty stall?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, put a door in, lock the door and not use it.
Actually, our ending balance on the income last year for Manningham Trust was 298,515. So we're just gonna be over 330. 300,000 this year.
I thought you were gonna go the other way when you said, oh, I'm like, oh, 400.
Same thing with the changing, well, the
Yeah,
changing rooms are empty rooms anyway.
I was
with events.
surprised when they told me
Right.
what they were doing, because I thought we were clear with our policy of what we wanted, but maybe we weren't. So,
Okay,
On your spec, are you guys leaving it open for contractors to suggest what materials to use and everything else, or do you have a specific forum or types of materials, be it the type of doors, whether you want steel entry doors, hollow core doors, solid wood doors, all those things are gonna change your costing and
Exactly.
give you non-comparable bids. And then push it all back to you guys to figure out really what you want based on funds and everything else as well.
Well,
I just didn't know what you were looking
yeah,
for.
no, I agree with you. I mean, we're gonna get the basics. We're gonna get a lot of input from contractors. They're gonna say, well, what do you want here? What do you want there? Yes, this type of project, then we'll have to make the specs more
Right.
appropriate,
Because
you know.
without that,
Right.
every contractor is asking a different selectman what suggestions or ideas or what you guys thinking of. You're gonna have different change orders across the board on who's trying to give you bids for different elements instead of a comparison bid.
that are putting an RFP together so that they know what they're.
Yeah, no,
It's just
That's
an
what we're doing.
opportunity there.
right.
Yeah.
There's nothing on here saying that when he expects this information in. It says the bids will be evaluated and selected by the Board of Selectmen in September, but he doesn't have
Yeah, so when we put it out, he's gonna want
you're gonna
a
want a
drop
date.
dead date on it
Correct.
when he
and-
advertises
right,
it.
Right, and then we can,
when he advertises, gonna,
Yeah.
he's better
So-
be ready to answer a lot of questions.
Well, so you stated stainless steel for the bathrooms. And the outdoor doors, you're gonna want steel, I would assume.
Yeah.
What color paint, what kind of paint?
I don't even know what he's
I
making the
don't-
wall with the
I don't
building out
think-
of. I don't know if it's a concrete building or a wood building.
Another thing that would blow your
All
numbers
right,
up.
we'll have.
You know, there's a lot of questions.
Well, last time you said to
Last time we
put the
had
size of
nothing.
it. Well, you
Well, the
had a
size,
few things. You
right.
said to
Yeah.
make sure you put the
And now
size,
we
so,
have more questions. so
Okay.
we
and that's
maybe
good.
should
That's fine.
Ask JT, you know, this is what we come up with.
Yeah.
Without seeing this, we couldn't ask the questions when he brought it in originally.
Okay,
Now we see this, brings up a lot more questions, and we can, because if you send it out, you're gonna get a lot of questions.
Safety changes.
that's why he brings it to you.
Yeah, I mean, you wanna be as specific
Right.
as you can to minimize the change orders,
Oh,
but
yes.
also to try to bring your quotes in as close
I'm
as you
well
can. I mean,
aware of
something as simple as paint.
I'm well aware of change orders.
Yeah,
Yeah, then it's
painting the
competitive.
mechanical floor in the school created a whole bunch of problems, because they didn't identify what type of paint they.
All right, so.
right,
This replaces the bathhouse we have, is that, are we taking that bathhouse down?
Yeah.
You happen to know, so we have federal funds for that bathhouse, is that correct?
Yes.
So does this divorce us now from any strings that we are tied to with the federal government because it's lived its useful life and we're now making something that's just ours? Can we cut those strings?
I don't know. JT he has looked into that whole situation, so we'll have to check. I want to say it would be nice, but then I want to say it is federal money, so I don't know if you ever get
I
divorced
don't think
from
it was
it.
very much federal money.
And it wasn't,
I
that's,
think it was only like $700 when they built that.
Even
I know
still, they
it
put their
doesn't-
hooks
I
in
think it
on
was
it and it
7,000.
opened that up to everybody in the United States. Every taxpayer in the United States has access to it, not free access, but access
Right.
to it. As opposed to Manahan gave this beach to
Right,
the residents of
Yeah,
Hillsborough to
yeah.
have something to call their own. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
mistake made in 1970s, fine, it was a mistake made. We know better now, so I'm just wondering if we can divorce them. Say, we don't have your building anymore, we've spent the useful life of your $700. We're on our own.
yeah. Like I said, all I was told to put a little green sign up. So give me the sign, I'll put it up. That's all we had to do for using the federal money.
I think that should
So-
be attached to the building.
so it's your fault.
No.
I
The
heard
state-
that.
The state came in and said, and Iris was secretary, they said,
Yeah.
Iris, where are they talking about this piece? And it was the piece behind Grimes Field.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was like, tell me where it is, and I'll look into it. Well, they told us where it was, and all she said was, all you have to do is put up a little green sign that says federal money was used. You give me the signs and I'll post them. There should be one posted on the bulletin board at Grimes. And there should be one posted on the building, somewhere on the main building or somewhere up at Manhattan.
Basically an asset tag.
It should, yeah, it's bogus. They should not have the right to it forever. It should not be indefinite.
Oh,
There's that
I'm sure there's
perpetuity.
a-
wasn't involved when they got the money, and they came in, the state finally put enough people in place to see if the money was used correctly. Showed them what it was, they said it was used correctly, it just needs this little green sign. Perfect.
Will you guys support my efforts as in going after the federal government to release us from any obligation now that, so if I go.
I don't know
if I
what
start
our
pushing-
obligation is.
Let's
I'm
first
gonna,
see
as a
if,
state, I will push it as.
Yeah, I don't know what our
I'm still in
obligation is.
office.
Do you honestly think somebody in the federal government is keeping tabs on Hillsborough, New Hampshire to make sure this
How
bathhouse?
would it take one?
well,
But it came from the
gets-
state.
yeah.
It was the state,
so it gets administered through the state.
yeah. It was the state who came out, and I don't think they've been out since.
Well, they have, because we were talking about, because they found that issue with
Oh,
that
with
piece of,
the-
yeah.
With the field, but when I built the boat ramp,
No.
the state was gonna do the whole thing, and then they said, it's not, I don't know, it's not a registered lake or something, but they came in, they were gonna do everything. And all we had to do is leave it open to the public. Great. Then they came back and said, nope, we can't do it. Whenever they went fishing game, I think it was through fishing game, they said, nope, we can't do it, so we used the trust money to build the ramp.
We have the right to take it down then, if the state.
Well, I think the boat launch,
Oh.
the boat area is
No, I'm
different
not
than
talking
the
about
beach
Not the
area.
boat area. but
Yes, the bathhouse we do, because it doesn't
The
last
bathhouse
forever.
wasn't involved in its stuff. It was the bathrooms. That's the
So
only
to be
one.
able to reclaim that
But
as
the
a
bathrooms are in the
Hillsborough
bathhouse.
property.
The bathrooms are the only thing they used the state money for, when they built those bathrooms.
And if we
They
turn it
didn't
down,
use state money to build the beach house.
Was it
Oh,
federal-
okay, you said bathhouse and bathrooms. I'm like, but this is the
Oh.
same thing. Okay.
Was it
Well,
federal money
this
that went through
is-
the state, or was it just state money?
I was
I thought
involved.
all along it was federal money, and it had to be federal US taxpayers, which cracks me up that they write that in their law. Who's gonna check the tax return?
I don't know. He said, all I know is they came out. How many years later, a girl came out and said, this is what I'm in charge, I'm supposed to do. Said, okay, and we didn't even know about the piece of land behind on River Street.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
We didn't even, that was 14 acres. And I asked the girl straight out, can I put a parking lot on it? Yep, it's part of the Grimes Field. Because at the time, we were looking for parking for the Balloon Fest and everything. And it was basically that we didn't put anything on that piece of land that wasn't supposed to be there, like a building. And that's what
Yeah,
they
it
were
has to be
looking for.
outdoor recreation.
Yeah, had to include the recreation, so that's where that all came from. As a state, and since then, I don't think there's been another, as far as I know, there hasn't been somebody come out and check on that little green sign.
No, but it just takes one complaint. One person complained.
I don't think anybody complained. I think the state didn't have the money to send somebody out to check on all this stuff, and they finally put the money in the coffers and said, okay, Laura, go out and check all these places, and gave that girl a list of places, and she went around and did it. It's from the state. It was the state,
Gets measured, gets done.
All right,
so, yeah.
non-public sessions, are we all set?
Well, I have
You have a couple things.
two things.
Okay.
One, another appointment for the Historical Commission, Tom Di Giovanni. Deanna Neal resigned and would like to take over her slot.
You make a motion to appoint
Di Giovanni.
to the Historic District Commission.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So he'll serve out the rest of her term.
Okay.
And the July 8th meeting, I will be on vacation. Do you want, so I do have the name of the person who does all of this for the school and her contact information. But for that meeting, would you like JT to sit in? Well, you're gonna want to talk to him about the bathhouse anyway. Would you like to change the dates in July? But I think
Will you have an agenda for us?
so. I'm going Tuesday. I mean, I have things written. No, I don't have things. I don't know if I have things already written in the calendar for an agenda for that. But I'm taking a week and a half.
Okay,
You're not allowed.
I keep getting told that I should take time off, so I'm taking.
I'm just thinking, if we have an agenda, we could probably have our own meeting.
Well, you can absolutely have a meeting. I mean, I could do an agenda while I'm out. It's not like I'm flying to Paris this week. But
You're gone for the whole week, the whole week.
yeah, from whatever Wednesday is, this coming Wednesday to the following Friday, the 10th.
From the
From the
1st to the 10th.
Where's the 10th?
When's the vacation, I mean, the holiday on the Friday?
Friday, yeah.
So the town office, everything closed on Friday.
The transfer station is closed on the 4th.
Are they closed on the 30th and the 4th? or
No, just the 4th.
Did
You wanna
know that
schedule it for the
question?
15th?
It is.
That's planning board meeting.
Oh, okay.
Planning board meeting on the first week.
So we don't have to have.
I could do up the agenda. It's not a problem. I mean, I'll be
Any
around.
other day the following week is fine, except Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Yeah, I
14th,
can't do
what,
Tuesday.
16th?
the 14th, you can't do.
I am not available on Tuesday nights. If you're trying to
No,
do it for me to,
Not on
okay.
Tuesday. Neither one of us want it on Tuesday.
No,
Why
that's
would
the school
16th?
special election.
Oh,
14th.
The 14th is the school special election, and I'm working
Yeah.
the polls.
Oh,
So I don't think we wanna have it then.
Oh, it's gonna be a long day.
no, that's
Nobody's
the
gonna-
vacation's birthday, so don't even think about it. I'm in deep,
Yeah.
if I have a meeting on that night.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be
Thinking.
speaking, while we're
Oh.
at it, I'm not gonna be making the
Your
29th.
anniversary or something?
Well, we don't have a meeting the 29th,
No,
the
we don't.
22nd.
22nd.
We need a meeting. Do we need to, do we have enough business? Can we skip the second,
It's just a
first
matter of
meeting in
signing
July?
the
Just have one meeting?
payroll and manifest, right?
it's up to you. I mean, you could have a meeting that night. You can skip that meeting that night. You can, right now, I have no appointments on the agenda. I will not have gone for my sit-in at the Deering Town Hall by then because
Okay.
as of Wednesday, I'll be on vacation
Yeah.
unless I want to do it on my
Yeah.
day off. But that's my plan, to go to Deering Town Hall so that I
Yeah.
can't be ignored.
Yeah. No. I mean, on the 8th, if we have a meeting, we can just do the consent agenda and the manifest.
Yeah, and anything, yeah,
and go
and if you
home.
want to meet with JT on this bathhouse specs, if he's
Yeah.
available, I don't know if he's
Yeah, if he's
available.
available that night.
You just make it a very small
Make a
agenda.
Short meeting, yeah.
And I won't come for public comment if I can do my last item, if you let me do that at the end of the meeting. Just one item.
Why can't you come if I'm not here?
I'm sure you'll have more by then.
No, I won't. Double come too.
All
Not
right,
with
so why don't
me.
we do
He's not
that?
coming
Let's
with
just,
me that
just,
way.
just make it a small agenda.
Yeah,
So-
small agenda.
So we're gonna have a meeting on the
Yeah,
8th, and
yeah,
it's gonna be a
just a
quick meeting.
small
Okay,
agenda.
Okay,
Might as well.
you guys can do it. You
But
guys
I will
can.
come.
We can handle it.
And we'll walk.
Oh, I don't know if they'll be doing that.
Well,
if we have that
Larry
person in
Baker said
line.
he'll volunteer.
Do you want?
Last one, and it's actually, because I would like to ask, when the minutes, when you guys have handouts at your meetings, like such as this, and we've had other things like Rich's calculation for Windsor, can these be scanned in with the minutes as well? So that way we don't have to special request them. We can just download them or look at them right online. So any attachments that you guys have for meetings, can they just be scanned in and attached to our minutes and loaded on the website? Like the school does, like the school has, sometimes they're 100
Is
pages
it-
long, but
they put it with their
scan
minutes?
everything. Yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna say, that would be easier, because with the agenda, if someone's bringing something in, we don't have it for that.
right, no, minutes.
Yeah,
They do it with the minutes, and it's just, it's nice. You can look at, when they talk about something was handed out, you can go right to it and look at it.
Yeah,
So that was one of my requests tonight that I skipped, and
I do like that.
because of time.
I do like that.
Thanks. Yeah, it would save me a bunch of
Yeah.
back and forth.
okay. That was it?
That was it.
Oh, okay. Well, we have two. Are you all set? Are you all set? What do you
All
need?
set.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
I thought you were. I thought you were looking
I
at
was
him.
looking at him.
Yeah, I do have one thing, funny you should bring up Windsor and those documents. We're gonna revisit that at some point in the near future.
Yeah, if you're ready, I can.
Well,
Put it
there's
on the
nothing,
agenda.
we just left it. I wasn't doing,
What's,
yeah,
I'd have to go back to
Okay,
read the minutes.
I guess one question that I do have is, right now, from I remember correctly, it was weighed more heavily towards Hillsborough's costs for the fire department than it was for Windsor and their resources and stuff. You want it more 50-50? Or do we like it the way it was? Because I can adjust things to make it more evenly distributed, if that's the will of the board.
75-25 then?
Or are we happy with what it is? Because I would like to, yeah, I mean, vote.
But they, well, we can vote, but they can't do anything till town meeting, so.
No,
have
but
time to
but if
discuss
we
it.
decide, whatever we decide to do, it would be nice to say, this is our proposal
Yeah.
moving forward.
Right.
You guys can do what you want. And so anyway, what do you think? You happy with what we had?
Yeah, I need someone else to justify your percentage. That's all. I don't, you know me and my percentage, so.
Okay, so.
I mean, I liked, the thing is, I like the population one because you could explain the percentage. It's the two populations, percentage of the
I agree.
population,
Yeah.
and the only thing you'd be changing is where their population number is coming from. So they're both numbers are coming from the same place and not relying on
So-
them telling us.
I will tell you
But-
that we built like that. We
Right.
used the official number and they questioned it,
Right, because of,
which is, and Diane told them exactly where we got the population number.
right, but if,
And I was having that same conversation that Rashay brought up. I said, they're getting benefits
right,
from,
because the
different
contract
area
says that
based on
that ours is coming from the state website or a website somewhere that I can't find anymore. And that their numbers are coming from their residential
yeah,
inventories.
Well, then they're stealing from the state.
So-
because they're expecting revenue for.
So
That's
pros
what
and
my
cons,
thoughts.
They either atone for the lower value and your rates and the state's revenue, or they get a higher revenue and they owe more to the Hillsborough comparable rates. It makes sense that you guys discussion that you shouldn't have two different inputs.
Right, that
For
was,
something.
yeah,
And-
and then you're not radically changing the agreement that's already in place.
Okay.
Whereas yours was a whole new
Yes,
agreement
I understand.
based on assessments and.
I
and
just,
that
I
kind of
just don't
stuff,
think
so.
we should do that. But that's fine.
well, that's
Yeah.
right.
That's what the majority board wants to do.
That, yeah.
Well, and
but I
that's
think
where we,
That's
the
where we
board
can.
gets stuck because nobody goes forward.
Yeah.
Make
Wasn't
a
there time when
motion.
You had to present that to them based on that prior agreement in order for it to meet certain,
Their budget deadline.
yes.
Because they're gonna have to budget a
So
different amount.
we need to
And
get
if
it
you
done.
miss that window, then you're
Goes
stuck
another
again.
year.
Right.
I
right.
hate to lose the revenue that we're getting. I'd hate to mess it up so much that they say, you know what, never mind.
Well, the
because
thing is, that
We
it's
still
just,
have all the same equipment, we're getting revenue.
right, I mean, right now, like you said, they're paying between 2
Well-
and 3. If you only change how you get their population, you're adding another almost $15,000 to what they owe you. And if they're, at least for a 3-year agreement, then you can look at it again. But if it's not working,
Right, but
I mean, if-
I agree that the more population we get and the less they have, it gives
lowers,
them a lower number.
Correct.
I agree with that, so
right?
that part, I
Well,
absolutely
those
agree.
are numbers, I mean,
I-
whether we agree or disagree, that's math,
Right,
I mean,
I'm looking, if we did 40 calls last year, we billed them $30,000, it's what, $750 roughly, I'm just throwing a number up for a call.
Yeah.
For all that equipment to go out there, but we own that equipment regardless, so it offsets,
but anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah.
don't
I
know,
think
yeah.
that's something we need to at least get nailed down, but I don't want to do it at the next meeting because.
well, no,
we-
I mean,
but-
our next.
I was
meeting
loving you to
with
do
Lori.
it.
I know,
yeah.
You would, but I think we need to do it
Right.
the second meeting in
Yeah, I
July,
agree.
so that
Yeah.
it's done August 1st, we can get the contract
Yeah.
rewritten and forwarded to them for their review.
But also, I would also ask that we have the contract that we have with Daring for waste, so we could look at that.
Waste.
Transfer station, yeah.
I'm gonna put the Windsor contract on the 22nd.
Yep.
Gives you a month to study.
And then bring a copy of the Windsor,
And
of the
well,
Dearings
yeah,
on that date too. Or do you want that at the 8th,
No,
to look at
22nd.
22nd? I just didn't know if we hand it out on the 8th, then you'd have it to look at and.
Oh,
well, I
we
can
could-
email, I can
Yeah,
email
you
it
can
to
always,
guys.
yeah,
You
you
can
can
have
have
it.
it.
But it's,
by the
it's the
end, that's
same
fine.
contract that we also charge Windsor for our transfer station. Not Windsor, yeah, Windsor.
Based on their population. But their population comes from the same place as our population.
No, that's not, it's the,
What?
the population, it's,
The other
but it's
page,
the, it's
one that we
the,
do with EDC,
yes, yeah.
I guess
that doesn't match the other one.
one of the discussions we should have at our, not the 8th, but the 22nd, is depending on what happens with your discussions with Daring, do we want to look at alternative sources of revenue from Daring? So that, to replace that $8,000 that we asked for.
Well,
We
yeah,
have to have that
we can look into, we have to find out
It-
what Deering's gonna do.
Well,
You
I
know?
think that, it's. I mean, I definitely don't disagree with the decision the board made for HYAA, but I think that, fees seem to strike people in a negative way, but it's all for, to offset usage of fields by the people who use them. But I think that Deering, it's almost like they're portraying an attitude that "Phew, we don't need to do this, we don't have to do that, yet this is our town, these are our assets, these are our, so I think that, this is what the fee is, and I agree with what Tom's saying, find a way to, put it into these other areas, and if they want justification, well, this is what we're coming up with, that we are charging you to use our transfer station. This is what we're coming up with in order for you to use this that we own. If you don't want to use our transfer station, you don't need to use our
Right.
transfer
Yeah,
station,
that's
right?
something
And I think that is a way, I think that was a good suggestion on Tom's part. That, and, you know, I think the board, I think you knock yourself out trying to justify why you're charging what you're charging, because we own it. And I know that sounds, I don't mean to sound rude or, but we do. And when I met with Deering, I said, you know, you need to start acting like a town. You need to, and we had somebody even call saying, can I have a membership to your library? It's like, no, because you're not a resident of Hillsborough. And Sam sent that over, and I suggested that they talk to Deering and see if that's something that Deering will supplement for them, because Deering does have a library, you know, but,
They can have a membership, they just can't have it free.
right, right.
The school complicates it for us, I think, yeah, the fact that we have the Hillsborough Dairy Cooperative, they forget that that's really where it starts and ends.
Right. And I think the best contract, not everyone agrees, is the police one, because we are making money on that, you know? And, but,
That can turn on a dime too, with catastrophe over there of some sort, that, you know, that,
yeah, you can't,
Right.
you can't,
I mean,
No,
it's
but-
not a guarantee, right, it's not a guarantee that we're gonna continue to.
oh, absolutely, right, right. I mean, right now, it's just a 3-year thing, but I think that every town should have their own police and fire and, but,
They have a major catastrophe over there in the next year, that we're putting the bill for it under this contract, and we may or may not have enough money.
Anything else? All right, then we're going to be going into non-public.
Are you done the meeting after that?
chairs? Or you all?
yeah, we have nothing
We're all
else to say.
set.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Good night.
Right.
Good night. Do you want to make a motion?
Pardon?
Do you want to make the motion?
Oh, I make a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91.
It's right here.
I know. 91A,
Oh.
colon 3, Roman numeral 2, C, reputation.
I thought you were trying to.
No,
think
well,
about-
a second, yeah, a second.
Roll call,
Yes.
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 Okay.